Hello Chipsters, it's Gav and it's time for another video. How many videos can one bloke make in probably a week? Well, we'll wait and see, shall we? I did the video, the Christmas one I believe, and there's a lot of kind people who said, Gav, don't get hung up on how many you build and what you build and all the rest of it. Just basically enjoy what you're doing. And I do enjoy it, I just get burnt out really quick. Now, a good marrow of the channel, Joachim and his marrow, Marcus, both of them in Germany, have got a group build going on. I wasn't going to do it this year because I just haven't been great with the head, and I felt like I was doing so much and just getting nowhere and not finishing stuff. And I think, well, this year it's going to have to go by the something like that. But I was sat here today, and I have been doing armour, 6mm armour. I'm just trying to clear off bits of projects off if they've not been on the desk, they've been in one of my drawers waiting to be, if not complete, the 6mm armour, micro armour stuff, never going to be completed particularly, but I enjoy doing it, and I just thought, do some of that, Gav. I'm losing track now, yeah, sorry. And I often have like Vietnam related videos on and stuff like that. It's a topic I like a lot of. And I was looking at an M48 tank in Vietnam, and I've got one in the stash that Vic sent me from Vic's Miniatures. Vic seems to be taking a hiatus, or holiday or whatever from the tube at the moment. But he sent me this a few years ago along with the Sherman, which I did build. Yeah, I actually built a kit and everything. Yeah, can't believe it. This is an old kit. I keep going like this because it's right on my desk, and I'll show you in a second. This is an old kit. It's an old monogram one. The figures, the figures look like zombie figures. I'm using the figures. But I've had an idea with this ever since I've had it, and I always go on to something else, and then I pick it up again, and then I look at it, and I think, well, it's an old kit. Are you really gonna want to put that much work into it? I can't build it out of the box like so many times, but it's got the rubber tracks, which I really don't like rubber tracks. But I've always had this idea that I wanted to sandbag it, so cover the turret or most of the turret in sandbags, because some of them did have it, especially when they were on more like roadblock duties and in town scenarios and that type of thing, and on fire bases, like I put it up at the Rock or whatever, up in the I-Corps area. This one won't be a Marine one though, so I'm not sure if the Marines operated these early Mark A's. But I'm going to sandbag it. There's going to be no particular aftermarket apart from anything I happen to have in the spares bin on it. Barrel will just be what comes in the box. It's a very basic kit. It's got no armour texture on or anything like that, so I thought it's not going to take a long time to put together, but I will texture it. I want to thin out maybe some of the mud guards, which won't take too long. And yes, the sandbags will take a while, but I think I can make something of it. And Victor gave me this tank, and it would be nice to actually build it. Whether I get it through I don't often do group builds because I just never, obviously I never finish stuff, or I put myself under pressure to get stuff done. And really, after all I've said about stuff in the drawers, do I really want to open yet another kit? Well, I'm going to, and I'll run with it as far as I can, and hopefully get it over the finish line. So the idea is, it's either going to be not story. I listen to a lot of Vietnam veterans talking. Obviously, they're recording a lot of Vietnam veterans because a lot of passing now, and for the life of me with my busted head, I can't remember if it was Marine Corps. I believe it was Marine Corps, but I might be wrong. And we'll say it was Marine Corps, but it could have been Army, obviously. And they were operating their M48, and they'd got a new, I believe it was a new officer. I might get all this mixed up, but I believe they'd got a new commander, an officer, and they'd said, we really don't want to be going into a night harbour area, so like hunkering down in a defensive formation for the night on this ground. It's too boggy. I don't know if it's paddy, rice paddy, or just bog. And of course, you know, young officer, he knows best. And all 3 tanks, I think it was 3, all went up to literally the top of the tracks. It just sank overnight, and they couldn't get out. And they sent for the track, the recovery track, to come and try and pull them out. And I think it ran over a mine. Nobody was injured, but it blew one of the wheels off and the track off, and it was disabled. So they had to get help for the help. And it had been given like a shotgun ride by one of the Zippo tanks, you know, with a flamethrower. M48 adapted to be a flamethrowing tank, and that's the only other spare tank they got, and that was trying to run shotgun for the track recovery vehicle. And yeah, I mean, it all got sorted in the end. I'm not going to bore you with it. I hope it's not boring, but you know, get through the whole thing with you. But that's the thing I'm thinking of. M48 stuck in the mud, more or less, which means I can hide a lot of the how it'll work. I'm not 100% sure yet. I've got blue foam for it and that. I'm just not 100% sure if I want to cover it all the way up or how it'll look. So I think I'll actually build it, paint it, whatever, and then decide how far I'm going to go in the mud with it. So I'm hoping that it's got stuff like moulded on shovels and picks. I did think of taking them off, and I thought, well, what's the point? You know, a bit of decent painting around it, and they're fine as they are. So things, I'm not sure if it comes with a tow cable or not. I'm looking at the main box art here. If not, we'll make a tow cable up, and I might even try and put some tow cables out as if it's been waiting to be retrieved. So yeah, I'll just quickly show the box, then I'll quickly show the bags are open. I don't know Marcus and Joachim and Marcus, if this is allowed in the group build. Heavy armour, heavy guns. It's a 46-ton tank. I believe, is it a 90mm? I mean, not the biggest gun in the world, but hopefully it is. If it's not, I understand. I'm still building it anyway. I just thought I could join the group build and do the thing I wanted to do for Vietnam. So yeah, this is the said tank. As I say, she's an old kit, but with a bit of disguising and a bit of scratch building, I think we can make something of it. I'll just quickly show the open box. Right guys, I'm not going to do no heavy in-depth video. I'm not getting everything out now, but this is what we're looking at. So you can see it's all still on the sprue, apart from obviously where I've opened it. As we can see, that there's a lot of clunky moulding going on. So I'm going to get right down to it tonight and get some stuff sorted, and I'll give you regular updates on it. It's not going to, this cupola here, when they were designed, they were to have the 50 cal that the commander could fire, obviously independently from there, but a lot of them in Vietnam, I have actually seen a couple of pictures with them on, with the 50 inside it, but most of the time 50 was put on a tripod, or they'd welded on a pintle mount for it on top. And that's what mine will be, so I won't have a 50 in there, but I have got 3 or 4 spare 50s in the stash, either taken off old builds or whatever. This has got 3 return, you can't see here, but it's got, I'll just keep talking for a minute, it's got 3 return rollers, so it's an early model. The rest of them had 5 return rollers. Oh, it has got a, I think that's supposed to be a cable, towing cable there. It's not particularly great, is it? But I think I might just put a heat something on there and just carve out some you know, again, I know that my ability to finish stuff seems to have gone out the window, so I don't want to pressure myself, but at the same time I don't want to say I'm going to do something and don't do it. So yeah, we'll be sorting all this out. It's not a top of the range kit, obviously, like these louvers here and stuff, but I think if I can do other stuff to take away from what you're looking at, then it might be a pleasing build to look at when it's finished. Right, so that's it. That's my entry. If I don't finish it in time, I'm sorry guys in advance, and if I do, great. I'm not, as I say, I'm not beating myself up over it. It's something I've literally, I can't even say how many times I've picked this kit up and had a look at it and put it back, because that's exactly what I wanted to do with it. Yeah. So yeah, right, this is my entry into the heavy arm and heavy guns, big guns group build. So we'll have some regular updates, just like always, along with everything else. And just to prove I can do armour as well, is stuff I'm working on at the moment. A bit smaller, British Challenger. Not that Challenger of the modern era, obviously, with a 17 pounder gun. From what I've been reading up on, it was actually much preferred over the Firefly, actually. Lower silhouette and could depress the gun 5 degrees lower than the Sherman could. There you go. But anyway, yeah. So we'll be doing the M48A2 Patton tank. Thanks for taking a look. See you soon.